Blog Talk Radio.
Archangels, ghosts, and Bigfoot. Oh my! It's just another night for Supernatural Girls. Real stories, real answers to life's biggest supernatural mysteries. And now for another exciting interview with paranormal experts from this world and others. Psychic medium Helene Olsen and paranormal researcher Patricia Baker. Here are Supernatural Girls.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for another exciting episode of Supernatural Girls. I am Helene Olsen. You can find me at angelslighthouse.com, and today is June 22nd. We're on the verge of another supermoon, the summer solstice, and I welcome and am grateful to have my fabulous partner in crime here, Patricia Baker. How are you tonight?
I'm great, Helene. How are you?
I'm good. I was just thinking about you farming today. And it just seemed like the weather was so good out here. It was a little bit humid, but how was it in the western part of Massachusetts?
It was a perfect day. I love these kinds of days. It's so balmy, and I just enjoyed the entire day. I didn't work myself silly so that I could be paying a lot of attention tonight because we've got a fantastic guest. I'm so excited to hear from Tania Gabrielle, and we have paranormal news. We've got all kinds of things to share with everybody. We have a lot of callers on the line already, a lot of people in the chat room. This is a very popular topic about names and numerology and power and wealth, and do we attract it or do we drive it away with our names? So I'm very excited. This is going to be a great show.
It is, and Tania's a very exciting guest. She has such an in-depth knowledge of astro-numerology. We've got a ton of callers on the line already who have questions for her. But I just have to ask you this because I have a garlic issue that I have to talk to you about because I did try to grow garlic.
Hear.
But
Okay.
I'm not going to go over that now. I just want to know, is there anything you're harvesting right now?
Well, yes. I'm harvesting all kinds of herbs, parsley, cilantro, basil. You know, I harvest those things all the time. Lettuce, all the lettuce is in, spinach. So we had a huge salad tonight. Tomatoes have started to come in. Everything from the garden was in the salad. It was unbelievable. I love it because I know where it came
I'm coming out to your house because all I have is herbs and garlic.
Oh, gosh.
A couple heads of lettuce in the flower box. That's about it. But you have such beautiful grounds. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
nice.
I'll tell you what, it's worth it to me. I just to go outside and be able to pick things. And, you know, we have a fabulous listener, Kat, who I have to say thank you to because Kat's one of our loyal listeners on the show, and she made us pesto from her garden out in California.
Well, you know, I made a mistake there. I waited until I opened it to write her a note. And then I got caught up with some family issues, and I haven't sent her a note yet, but it is absolutely delicious. Perfect.
It is.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And I want to add
Kat.
something. Oh, thank you, Kat. It was so generous of her. But I really want to add something because, you know, you have beautiful grounds and, you know, all the equipment and everything to be able to grow whatever you like. And I have a little postage stamp yard. But really, there's so much you can grow on a postage stamp. You know, people don't have to be afraid of throwing a tomato plant in a bucket or I grow my lettuce in a flower box, you know, a couple of big flower boxes, and it comes out
very
perfect.
Creative on a small space, and you can also grow vertically. So there's lots of different ways to make use of a small space, and they're doing that in the cities now. They're growing things on rooftops and, again, using a lot of vertical gardening techniques. You can really feed your family in a small area. So it's a good thing to look into for everybody. And, again, at least this way, you feel like you have some association with the earth and where your food is coming from. It's a whole different spiritual connection when you eat something that comes from your own garden.
Yeah, I think last year I posted a picture of my little ceramic gnome in with the lettuce, you know, in the flower box. It's just fun when you have a small space, and I really enjoy it. I do. And you are an authority on growing things, so we'll talk about the garlic later, Patricia.
All right. It's a deal. It's a deal.
Yeah, what's the paranormal news tonight?
Well, again, it's about this big supermoon event that's happening tomorrow night, and a supermoon means that the moon is coming closer to the Earth, and I believe this one coming up tomorrow night, the moon is going to be closest to the Earth with this supermoon. This is the closest one this year. And remember that also, and I'm sure Tania can address this better than I can, but the moon represents, on a spiritual level, our instinct and our spiritual belief systems. And also, it's interesting and a little scary because Richard Noel is an astrologer that wrote about supermoons and the effect on tidal forces and how oftentimes supermoons are associated with natural disasters, so major earthquakes. And I know they've drawn links between supermoons and Fukushima, the event that happened there, and other natural disasters that were memorable and notable, unfortunately. But what is the challenge for us as people who are going through these types of events? And often it's, an opportunity to connect with our higher selves and create a cosmic alignment to our path of life service, maybe even have a few personal miracles. So there's also this upside to this whole thing. Where is your spiritual connection? And it's a good time to ask that question during the intensity of this supermoon. So we'll see what happens with it, but it's coming in tomorrow night. Big event.
Well, I'll just add a funny side to this whole thing with the supermoon is that, unfortunately, my poor husband, Arthur, darling that he is having a medical issue right now. So we're in the emergency room, and it was packed, Patricia, wall-to-wall people.
Oh,
and I was talking to one of the nurses about it, and I said, it looks like it's packed out there. She said, well, I work on an ambulance, and we had just the craziest day. And I said, well, that's the supermoon in action. And she said, oh, my goodness, I forgot it was a full moon coming up. This happens every month.
Now she knows why, because this
well, she knows. I mean, I asked her about the medical community, and I guess they're pretty clear that the full moon does change people or some people in some way.
Apparently it has quite an effect on our own tides in our own inner workings, and it does create some mayhem, apparently, for certain groups or people or individuals, whatever. But, so it's a good time to make that recommitment to the spiritual side of ourselves and our higher selves.
Yeah. So it's all fun, and hopefully we won't have any world calamities on the supermoon. We'll say a prayer for that. So
yes.
Yeah, but there's lots of information about the supermoon on the Internet and also group meditations, worldwide meditations, all that. So people can look for that this weekend. And would we like to welcome our guest, Tania?
Let's bring Tania on.
Okay.
I'm here.
Welcome, Tania. You're live on the air.
Hello, Helene. Hello, Patricia. I'm so grateful to be here with you.
Welcome.
Yeah, that was so fascinating what you said, Helene, about, and first of all, I'm sorry you're in the emergency room. That's not obviously good news at all.
Life goes on. He's okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that supermoon, though, because, as an astro-numerologist, I actually cast the charts for these events, and I have it right in front of me, the exact chart of this supermoon. And as it happens, the numbers that are associated with this supermoon are the numbers 2 and 5. And that's very interesting because 2 is where the sun and moon are, but they're forming a triad or trine with a very beautiful trine with 2 planets which are at 5 degrees. And 5 is all about change and sudden events and taking risks and sudden things changing throughout the day, and nobody knows what's coming next. And, so for you to say that they had a crazy day at the emergency room, it does make sense in that way. Also, I want to mention that this trine is activating the water sign of Pisces even more because one of the 2 planets that are in the trine is Neptune. And Neptune, as you both probably realize, entered Pisces recently and will be there until 2024. And so I already said that water events will be greater during this period, So,
wow.
But you know what? On the bright side, I don't usually talk about these things on this level because I feel that it's much better to talk about what can you do for yourself. And what Neptune does is really strip away delusions. So we're really being asked to strip away the illusions we have about our life and the delusions that we create in order not to confront reality. And that's really happening right now for all of us. So
I'd have to say that
time.
totally resonates with me. What do you think, Patricia?
Oh, absolutely. And I like how you're helping us all in the audience tonight come to terms with this in a personal way, because it is a personal quest that we're all on to try to find the truth for ourselves. And it sounds like this is going to be a boost in that direction.
Yes, very much so. This is a beautiful, actually a kite that's being formed. A wonderful, very healing and powerful symbols being formed in the skies by this supermoon. And it's so powerful that I would love for people to just take a little time for themselves, get out in nature, meditate, and enjoy this energy, because it is quite profound and it will heal your relationships in a major way, because the sun and moon are at 2 degrees, and that's the number of peace and cooperation and diplomacy and forgiveness. And, it's just one of those moments where I feel a lot of breakthroughs can happen very naturally if you're open to them and just, strip away your fear of being vulnerable and open and sensitive to others. So I love this supermoon, actually. It really is a super moon.
Well, that's great information, Tania. Now, I don't know that much about you, but I do know that you used to be involved very heavily in classical music. And I'm wondering if you could tell the audience how you sort of made this transition years ago into a more spiritual path. Of course, I'll just frame this whole thing in saying we all know the entire universe is based on mathematics, as is music and numerology, so it sort of resonates with me that you would go in that direction. But how did that happen for you?
Well, I still am a composer. I compose classical music, not as much. But what happened for me, Helene, is that my father was an amateur astrologer, and when I was a teenager, I just devoured the books in his library. And he cast charts of us 4 kids and other people, and that's how I found out about astrology. When I got to college, which is actually in Massachusetts, where I went to college, funnily enough.
Where did you go?
I went to Amherst College in the Asparagus Valley, the beautiful so I loved it. I loved it there. But anyway, I went into a metaphysical store in Amherst, funnily enough. It's sort of a preppy school, but they did have a lot of metaphysical stores, and I went in and I found a book on Pythagoras, and I knew, of course, who he was, but this book was on numerology, and it totally intrigued me immediately. And when I got home to my dorm room, I started giving readings instantly, because I had already read most of the book in the store, and I just knew it was correct. And that's when I learned. I mean, I always knew Pythagoras was a musician. I knew he was a mathematician. I didn't know he also did astronomy and astrology, and he equated astrology as the inner science and astronomy as the outer science. And he said the same of numerology and mathematics. So one is the inner science, one is the outer science. So one describes the universe, the other describes our soul and our journey, our personal journey in that universe. And I thought, wow, this is just so amazing, because he was a musician as well, just like me, and, it just totally resonated. So quantum physics really started with him. He described the universe as a mathematical description and even a musical description. I don't know if you both know, he invented our musical scale that we use to this day in music and Western music. That was Pythagoras who actually invented that scale.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it really is stunning. So you can see the connection for me personally, going back to my story, is a very close one. As a composer of music, I create with those notes. I create structure and melody and rhythm and harmony, and that can be translated to another language, which is numerology. And I will in the future combine both, actually, into one. But so what happened is numerology and astrology were always a hobby of mine. I always gave readings. And then it was about 10 years ago or so, I made it a much more in-depth professional pursuit and realized that I loved it so much I wanted to really apply it as a profession. So that's what I'm doing now.
Terrific. And I understand that you've had a lot of celebrity clients. You've had CEOs of corporations that have called you and asked you for your information and your knowledge about their own names, their business names, that kind of thing?
Yes. Well, the wonderful thing about numbers is your name also resonates to a frequency, which is translated through the letters of that are in your name. And most people are familiar with the Pythagorean system, which is what you use for your birth name. Like you have a birth certificate name, and you would use that Pythagorean numerology system for that. But what I specialize in actually is your current names, and this is where the corporations, the business leaders, but really everybody, whoever you are, benefits from knowing what your current name, the name that you choose yourself, for yourself or your business, use. And that has a resonance. It has a spiritual calling card. It has a frequency that is either helping you or not. And it's the only part of numerology that has either a negative connotation or a positive one, is that current name that you carry. So one of my specialties is helping people to name not only themselves, which always starts with you, but also, of course, their children, but also, their projects, their websites, their any kind of live event, any kind of product they sell. And then the other flip side of that is to choose launch dates that resonate with their personal important numbers. Even you have numbers that resonate to wealth that you can activate on certain days of the month, certain years, certain months, So it's wonderful. It just goes on. And that's just the numerology side of things. So you can imagine when you add the astrology, where I actually apply this knowledge to your astrology chart. So it just goes on and on. The depth, is incredible, because you're looking at current cycles, you're looking at birth events, you're looking at the future, and the spiral just continues in a very powerful way.
And so right now I'll just give you a website so that people can find you at Tania Gabrielle, GABRIELLE.com, and they can hook up with you for a reading or find your workshops and so forth, right?
Yes, and Tania spelled the European way, Tania.
Sorry.
So,
yeah.
Yes, that's okay. I have to say that because most people spell it with a Y in this country.
That's true. I guess they do.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I have. If you go to that website, you can see. There's a free newsletter, and that I recommend you sign up, because first of all, it's free, but I also write. First of all, I'm going to write about the supermoon. I have free videos every month that are forecast videos, and they go in depth into the cycles of the month and how to spiritually prepare, and also how to take advantage of them in order to create prosperity in your life, and really understand what you need to do, what you need to release for that to happen. So I have that free newsletter and free videos right there. You can just sign up for that.
That's great. And knowledge is power. So, everybody go sign up on Tania Gabrielle's website, because all of this is helpful in these times, which can be very unsettling for people. So this is a great place to go to get information, as you mentioned, Tania, on the cycles of what's coming. And I have a question for you, Tania. You're talking about the names that people use right now. So people can change their names, too. They can add a letter or take out a letter and have a completely different resonance with that name. Is that correct?
That's exactly right, because it's a matter of adding, so mathematics. So you're right. If you have a name that resonates to a challenging number, and about 80% of my clients do, then I either remove a letter, add a letter, or change one of the letters. if they want to have the same sounding name. So, for example, the name Anne, you can take the E away, right? That's one way to change the name. And if that adds up with the last name, let's say the last name is Jones, you can write Anne Jones with an E or Anne Jones without the E after Anne. So that would be one way to do it. So yeah, there's just it's the first thing I do with any of my clients, because your name actually defines how easy or difficult it is for you to express the gifts that you were born with, those gifts that are in your numerology birth chart, in astrology birth chart, that most people have received readings about what their talents are and what to watch for. Well, those gifts, it's very hard, or much harder. You have a lot more obstacles in your life when your name is a challenging one. So it takes longer, it's more frustrating, you go through more circuitous route than when your name is fortunate. Things happen much more quickly and effortlessly, and you have the support behind you as well. And I have to add here that this is a very ancient system that I use. It's the Chaldean system. The Chaldean priests in Babylonia knew about this, and in the Bible, in Ecclesiastes, there is an actual quote that your name is more precious than the most important ointment. So they said names are more important than actually medicine, because of how it has your, how easy your life is. And so it really is, like I say, your spiritual calling card, and it emits a frequency to the world about you. So it's not a lot of people know about this, and so I do like making it very clear in a forum like we have tonight that your current name really is a very important part of your life, and you say it every day, and you put it in your emails, and people know you by it. So make sure that you have a name that is helping you, and your life really will be influenced by that number.
So this is great, because in the older forms of numerology that I've been exposed to, it was all about the name you were born with. Mm-hmm. And in that way, it feels kind of stagnant. It's like, well, you're stuck with that name, and it's a vibration that you're going to carry your whole life. Even if you get married, you change your name, doesn't matter. This is what you were born with. And what I really like about the work that you're doing is you have a totally different system, a totally different perception, and it gives people a whole new level of choice in the way that they're going to be seen and supported in and by the world. So I like this a lot better, quite honestly.
Well, that you bring up a great point, and that's the choice, that literally you are in control of this part of your life. Now that you have the information, you heard it, so it's up to you now, right? You hold the reins, and you don't have that in any other divination art. Even in astrology, the time and place you're born, that's it.
Right.
There's your chart.
Yeah,
in numerology,
you're stuck with it.
Exactly. In numerology, actually, your birth name does make a big difference in what your gifts are, especially when it comes to your career. Your birth name really describes the kind of career you're going to have, and the environment of your career, and how you present yourself in your career. So that will always be you, that birth name. However, what I'm saying, the ease of which you express that birth name and that birthday, that life purpose number, that day of birth number, that it depends on your current name. And so that's why it's such a powerful ingredient in this whole picture that we're painting. So, it's wonderful, like you say, because the reign is in our hands, and we can decide now, from now on, how we're going to progress. Is it going to be easily, or are we just going to ignore the fact that we might have a challenging name and just pretend it's not there? So
yeah.
Well, along those same lines, how difficult is it for people to wrap their mind around publicly changing the name, even if it's by a letter, to their family and friends and their business associates? Do you find that people always change it, or do you find it's half or less than half?
That's a great question. To tell you the truth, I don't keep track of all of my clients. There's just too many, and most of them, will write back at times. But what I do know is that those who do change it and write back always have incredible stories to tell. There is definitely resistance, though, with some clients, and the reason is that it's not the name, it's the change they're resisting. They will have to literally up-level and be more involved in who they are as a soul as opposed to their ego. And as you know, we're not really taught to be spiritual in school, and to be in touch with your innocent, beautiful heart center is hard for people to get through all the layers that we put on top of that. In the course of our life, we have a lot of illusions that we pretend we are one thing when we're not, and so the name change will strip that away. And so some people do resist it at first, but I tell you, even if you do resist it and change it, it will help you because it is math. It literally will help you. So even for those who say, okay, well, I'll try it, they do find a shift. Those who try it and embrace it find the greatest shift because they literally have moved the energy within themselves. Some people even break down on the phone when I tell them that their name is not fortunate because they know that it's such a big shift for them. And it really is. I mean, I can tell you amazing stories about that. But what it is, because it's a frequency, it's like hearing a song you love and a song you don't like. It's a frequency. So you have to understand that it emits a sound. It emits a vibration into the universe. So it really is very profound when you make that shift. It's not just a little thing. It's a big deal, So I changed my name dramatically. I have my first and middle name now, Tania Gabrielle. Mm-hmm. Gabrielle is my middle name. But initially it took me a few weeks, even a few months, to adjust to that change. But I'm so happy I did it because within a week my life had shifted in a dramatic way. I will always remember because I trusted. I said, you know what? I know that what I found out about my previous name, because I knew what the meaning was, right? I always tell people what their meaning is so they know this is the life you're leading based on your name. So I knew that about my name. I totally got it. It was completely correct about victimization and all that, and I totally stepped out of that when I changed it, and things happened pretty quickly for me. So.
That's tremendous, and my goodness, what a gift, and the fact that it happened so quickly, that is great. That is great.
Yeah. Again, it depends on how open you are, too.
This frequency, the way you're talking about it, hits people at a very deep level, and they're not really in accordance with their higher self or their soul. So, yeah, I can understand what you're saying, Tania, because it's hard for people to make that kind of leap, I think.
Yeah, you're really asking them to release something that they've held on to, for a long time. And your name, it is part of who you are, And so when you have to change the spelling, even by one letter, it can really throw people because they're worried about their families. What are they going to think? They're not necessarily looking at it in terms of a shift within them that's going to really activate something very profound and beautiful and, with ease and joy. They're looking at more, what does this mean for me?
Yeah, now, are they still going to like me if I change my name and it's no longer the family name? And, you're describing that struggle between ego and begging for love and acceptance and basically turning inward and accepting yourself and loving yourself. So that's the choice.
Yeah, exactly. And just saying, look, and also, you know what? Also, Patricia, what I find is people, and this is not most of my clients, by all means, it's just some, but we're intuitively, there's already resistance to change. So they're not even intuiting whether the name will help them. So they come into it not wanting change in the first place. You know how, and I know, Helene, you can resonate with this as a psychic. People come into it wanting you to solve their problems, but they don't want to do the work. So
well, that's true. Yeah, sometimes, not everybody.
Yeah,
but sometimes,
not everybody. That's what I mean, just some. So those are the ones that then resist if you ask them to do something, because it's really big when I mention this, right? It's big news to them, and so they have to then shift and accept, well, is my life really like this? Yes, it is. Am I willing to make a change? Not sure, So anyway, it's interesting. Yeah.
It is. Well, everybody can find you at Tania, Tania, Gabrielle, GABRIELLE.com, and we're going to take this opportunity to take a short break, and we hope that our vast audience stays with us. This is a fascinating program. Thank you for being with us, Tania.
And we'll start taking calls for live readings with Tania when we return. If you have a question for Tania, call 646-478-0828. Stay tuned.
We'll be right back.
Your property tax bill. Have you seen it lately? It's frightening. Your property taxes are going up while your home value is going down. It's time to fight back and win. For the real truth about the property tax system, get attorney Pat Quintilian's book, Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Attorney Quintilian answers all your questions and gives you the facts you need to fight a property tax bill that is spiraling out of control. You'll also read about what happens to property owners who don't check their property records, only to find out too late they're taxed on square footage, fixtures, and even buildings that they don't own. Is this happening to you? Learn your rights. Buy attorney Pat Quintilian's book today. Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Available on Amazon.com.
Sometimes life can be a challenge. Would you like insight and guidance to help you make the best choices right now? Contact Helene at angelslighthouse.com to make your personal appointment for a psychic reading or energy alignment. Helene is a direct channel to the angelic realm and is remarkably capable of connecting to the living as well as to your loved ones on the other side. Helene is available to clients all over the world via phone or Skype, and it's simple to set up a group reading anywhere. Visit angelslighthouse.com, where you'll find an easy way to schedule right online. And while you're there, sign up for the Angels Lighthouse newsletter and receive information on all the free energy circles, giveaways, and jewelry with a message. Visit angelslighthouse.com and contact Helene today.
Welcome back, and if you have a question for Tania, you can dial 646-478-0828. We'd love to talk to you. We also have people in the chat room, Patricia, so you can just let us know what they're asking. But right now we're going to take our first caller, if that's okay with you, Tania.
That's fine. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And we will welcome Jim from Atlanta. Jim, you're live on the air.
Oh, hi, Helene and Patricia. Thank you for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. What's the weather like in Atlanta tonight?
Oh, well, it's beautiful. It's probably right around 75 right now, and it's a little bit muggy, but as always in Atlanta, it's probably right around 55, 60% humidity. But it's a beautiful day today.
Sounds great,
beautiful
though.
Day.
Yeah. What's your question for Tania tonight?
Well, Tania, I looked at your website, and I was doing a little bit of homework, and the Chaldean method of the ancient Chaldean priests really intrigued me. If I were to give you my name that I go by, can you tell me a little bit about myself or what you feel, what you can read?
I could, if you want to give me your name online. I mean, that's fine.
Yep. I
also will need your birthday, though, because this reading involves me checking your birth numbers as well.
Well, first of all, my birthday is 8/25/1948.
Okay.
that adds up to a 1, I think. And my name is Jim, and the last name is Petit, P-E-T-I-T.
P-E-T-I-T, okay.
Exactly.
You're a brave man, Jim.
That's hilarious.
I have a comment after she reads my name, what she feels about it, because I have my own feelings about it. Believe it or not.
Okay. All right, so let me give you a quick reading here. So your name resonates to 28 in the ancient Chaldean system. And by the way, this is not a straight add your letters system. So for those of you who are trying to add names, sometimes the number will seem very strange and sometimes it'll be very clear. But it's not like adding your birth name. There are about 5 different sets of rules for this. So wow. 28 is, just so you know, Jim, 28 is a number of, it shows great promise. It shows even a genius quality that you have and the possibility of achieving great success. The thing is, there are a lot of contradictions with this name, which is why I usually don't recommend it, because you tend to trust the wrong people, and so you may have opposition in all parts of your life, which sometimes is very powerful. So that means competitors, enemies, both, personal and career. So there is just a huge lesson when you have a current name number like this of self-discipline, and you need to really be cautious. Always look left and right, look before you leap, basically. So I don't know if that resonates with you. So there are two. It's just the contradictions with this number. On the one hand, great success, great promise, genius quality, but on the other hand, having all this opposition means that it's not that easy. Does that make sense to you?
It does. My feelings always have been that I never liked my name. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I got that way back when I was a teenager. I just didn't like the name, and I don't know why. But there is. I understand what you're telling me. It makes sense. Mm-hmm. It does make sense.
Yeah. So in your case, what I would do in a full reading, which, by the way, you can get on my website, it's called Is My Name Fortunate Report. I would give you several alternative versions for you, and I would let you know, what actually is highly fortunate, and then you can choose from those. And if you have further questions, we would have follow-ups after that.
Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate that. And the one comment I wanted to make was, it sounds like in your readings and going through the names and what they signify, that there is somewhat of a power of intention.
There always is the power of intention. That is one of the greatest powers, if not the greatest, that we have, is what do you intend to do with the information given? Do you intend to ignore it, or do you intend to use it? And so power of intention, to me, is the key to all happiness, really. It's up to you, isn't it, in the end? So if you receive this news about your name, then what is your intention? Do you ignore it? Do you do something, right? So that's the best way to live in my world, because then you're using wisdom to make decisions, right? So
Yes, excellent. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome, Jim.
All right.
Thank you, Jim.
Oh, thanks,
Jim.
Helene and Patricia. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye.
That was an interesting call from Jim.
Yes, and I can hear Helene. Helene, you're such a great psychic. I love you. You're my personal psychic, and you're probably picking up stuff. And you're like,
I don't know. Sometimes we're on, and sometimes we're not so on. He just seemed like such a nice man,
tonight,
such a lovely personality, and beautiful energy around him personally.
Yes,
but I think that frequency, what you're saying is, I can look at Jim's energy and say he is a lovely, genuine man, a good friend, all of those kinds of things from my intuition. But what you're saying is that really our name is our calling card, and that frequency sometimes attracts things that we're not really wanting.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question for you, Tania, and Helene. You better be sitting down when I bring.
Okay, I'm sitting down, Patricia.
Okay. My husband asked if I would bring his name to you and birthday. Now, Helene, don't pass out, okay? But we know that my husband is a major skeptic of all we do here on the show.
I'm not saying anything. I'm totally neutral. Hi, Kim.
But anyways, when he heard that Tania was going to be on the show and she was talking about numerology and wealth and all this, he goes, oh, you know what? I would like to know what she thinks about my name. So his name is Kim, Kim Baker, Baker, and his birth date is 9/28/51. So.
Okay, can I just say here, because he's born on the 28th, he will have some of those qualities, some of them that I mentioned to Jim, because that was the number I was describing. So just so you know. Okay. So let me look clearly at this energy.
Boy,
okay,
Kim's a good sport to ask this on the air.
Yeah, I know it. I was shocked. That's why I told you.
I mean, he didn't do it personally. I don't know. Are you listening to the show, Kim? I'm not sure. But
or he's waiting for a full report. I don't know.
But he's a good sport. That was nice. Yeah.
Okay, so couple things. Let me just do a quick reading on his birthday. I just want to mention something for him. His full birthday adds up to 35, which is an 8. And people who have either a 4 or an 8 as their full birthday number, or are born on a day, like the 4th, 8th, 13th, et cetera, 17th, they have a very special relationship to other people who have these numbers, meaning they magnetically attract other 4s and 8s into their life.
That makes sense because I was born on the 4th. So
there you go. Always, you will always find this in marriages and children of it's almost like a number that just they like each other, they stay together, and they learn from each other, and it tends to be very karmic. And if you don't mind that word, meaning there's stuff you're working through from previous times, and you're just magnetically attracted to those people and experiences. So he has that, and obviously you have that.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, so now his name, Tim Baker, it adds up to the number 12, and 12 is what I call the victim number. So I highly recommend he change it, because what it means is he will sometimes feel like, he's being victimized, or why is this happening to me again? And this number is so interesting because on the one hand it represents great knowledge and strength, but on the other hand it's almost like these people suffer for a purpose. And so, it's like you need to just be very, very, they need to be very careful, even suspicious of people who dangle out promises. They have to analyze people's motives because sometimes people will be dishonest towards them. So, he may sacrifice his personal goals in order to help people, on and on, so it is a challenging name. It can also mean sacrificing in order to achieve knowledge and wisdom, right? So this is a name I would recommend a change in, and I don't know if this resonates at all,
He said he didn't like his name. So
okay.
I'm sure he would like a change. He has a middle initial of R that he also uses. So I don't know if that changes it enough, but that would be a good example of, like you mentioned, adding a letter to change the vibration.
Okay, let me just address that, because unless you want to go like Michael J. Fox and just announce yourselves as Tim R. Baker every time people ask your full name, and when you in the instances where he wouldn't say I'm Tim, but he would say I'm Tim Baker, he would have to say I'm Tim R. Baker.
Most
people
Kim,
don't want
K-I-M. You know that, right? Not Tim.
Oh, I thought it was Tim. I'm sorry.
No, Kim, K-I-M.
Oh, I got that completely wrong then. I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, because it didn't
correctly.
quite sound like him, too, when you were describing the victim.
When you said K, I did not hear that. I am so sorry. Okay.
That's okay.
Well, there you go. You got a free reading for those of you.
Yeah, for those who have Tim.
That's hilarious. Okay, well, let me tell you about this. This is very interesting. Okay, he has a 10 name. Now, that name, that's actually what my name resonates to. This is a very, very powerful number. There is a big asterisk, though, that goes with the number. It's called instant manifestation. That's what I call it, actually, instant manifestation, which means what he thinks about manifests very quickly, whether it is positive or negative. That's the asterisk. So he must always use wisdom when he's even thinking about stuff, because he will manifest so fast. It's the number of love and light. The number 1 is male, the number 0 is female. And so when you bring those two together, it really is the force of the universe that you have in your hands. Love and light is what it is. So it's an extremely powerful number. And so how it reflects in a person's life when he has this name, it depends whether he can see the difference between what is good for him and what is not good for him and act accordingly. So
would you do this in a private reading? You would do this in connection with an astrological analysis as well, right?
I would, yes, depending on what kind of reading they actually registered for. But if they're on the phone with me, I will actually intuit to whether the name actually works for them, because I can tell you I've had clients who were not able to use this name, even though it's highly fortunate, because they didn't have that kind of glass half full. You really need to be a glass half full person. If your glass half empty, you tend to not benefit at all. In fact, it goes the opposite direction for you.
Well, I have to tell you that this it's interesting, because all we did here was change one letter, and yet it changed the whole vibration and meaning.
That's what I mean.
The name.
You're right.
That's very powerful. And it also, I have to tell you that when you were first describing it, it didn't sound right. Then I realized it was the wrong first initial. But then when we all straightened that out, the second description that you gave is exactly perfect, and because he is very successful, he's very powerful, and that does resonate completely with the challenge of having a name like that. When it's the thoughts you think, it's the way you believe, that's what you're going to get reflected back right away. So thank you. That was great.
Yeah, it is incredible. And by the way, with this name, people will either love you or not like you at all. And when you are living your truth and living in integrity, it is really one of the most powerful frequencies you can hold, because it represents male, female, love and light, yin and yang, the balance of the universe, creation. So it's quite a remarkable name number to have. And fortunately, I have this number and I love it. But some people, like I said, it's difficult for them. So just, if you let him know what I said and just honor that, he can really create wonders with this kind of name.
Yes, and he has in his life. And I have to share with you, too, that we have a friend who does hand analysis, and when she looked at the lines on his palm, she said almost exactly the same thing that you just said, and she added that when you are centered in your emotional self, grounded in your emotional self, you can have the world, and when you are disconnected, then nothing's going to go the way you want it to. So it's a very similar comment to what you just said. So thank you very much. It was very insightful.
You're welcome. And that was just his current name. Can you imagine what else there is?
I cannot imagine. My goodness, it's so exciting. Again, it's so exciting because you're giving people great information that they can use in their lives to really turn things around if that's what they want to do. If they want things to be easier, if they want to feel, as you mentioned, the support of the universe, then changing the vibration of that name can make all the difference in the world. And certainly that's what just happened. We went from Tim to Kim, and look what happened. So
exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tania.
You're welcome.
Now, these are amazing teaching points, because really all of the information is interrelated. We do have the power to create what we want in our lives, and this is an amazing aspect to help give us guidance, So let's take another call from Rosalind in Reno, Nevada, and let's get her on now. Welcome, Rosalind. You're live on the air.
Hi.
So now you have to give us a weather report in Reno, Nevada. How is it?
It's nice today. It wasn't cold at all. It was about 82. It wasn't hot. It wasn't cold. Nor windy. It's been windy the last couple of days. So
yeah, and you don't get much humidity in Reno, right?
No, not much at all.
Well, that's nice because it was pretty humid here this afternoon in New England. So what is your question for Tania tonight?
Oh, I wanted to know, my question was about the my birth name and what kind of secret codes or hidden messages or whatever is in my birth name.
Wow.
I'm not even necessarily in the birth name, just in the name.
Okay. You know what? Secret codes and messages is something I do. I have to prepare for because it takes me. I literally take your names, create anagrams, and then create lexicograms from those anagrams, and it takes a while to do. So it's not like I can just take your name and then like tell you what's going on, but I can take your current name and give you a reading if you want, or take your birth name and give you a reading without doing the secret code stuff, which I like I said, it's a long process that I have to prepare for. Mm-hmm.
So what would you like to hear, Rosalind, your birth name or your current name?
Let's do current name.
Okay, how do you spell your first name?
Rosalyn.
Mm-hmm.
You need the middle name?
No, whatever you go by. Like, how do you introduce yourself?
Rosalind.
And then what's your last name?
Bentley. Bentley.
Okay. Rosalind Bentley. Okay.
Well, after this call, we'll have to talk about secret codes, Patricia.
Oh, yes. Now I want to know. But first we have to take care of Rosalind here.
Yeah, but I liked her point about the secret codes and secret messages because that's a fascinating aspect of numerology.
So, and Rosalind, what is your birthday?
7/11/69.
July 11th, 1969. Okay.
Mm-hmm. 69.
All right. Oh, 59.
6.
5? 6. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, I have that.
Okay.
Okay, so that is 2034. Okay. All right. So here we have a situation where you're born on the 11th, and so your current name is your day of birth. The 11th of July is triggering your name, which is a 29. 2 plus 9 is 11. So 2911. That's your current name. So we have a triggering of a challenging current name, and so it's even more pronounced for you because one of your birth numbers is resonating to that root number 11. So 29 is it constantly gives you spiritual tests, and so these are challenging tests because your life is filled with uncertainties. You have friends that you can't really trust. Members of the opposite sex can cause you issues like anxiety stuff. There's warnings. It's just a really challenging name number and one I would change immediately because it's one of the most difficult numbers you could have. And I don't know if that resonates with you. I can tell you a bit more. 11 with an 11 name, which is you have a lot of indecision in your life. You feel like there's incompletion in your life. There's almost a feeling like you're separate, and so it's challenging in many ways. Does this make sense to you?
The part about feeling separate makes sense. The rest of the stuff I don't too much feel or deal with too often. Usually when I start something, I finish it or seem like, I don't know, lucky/blessed. Often, I don't know.
So you do feel lucky, is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. Then you may have bypassed what is actually quite a challenging name.
Okay.
So, some people can do that. It's rare, but it can happen. So, but for most people, this kind of name would be quite difficult, especially because you have to deal with uncertainties and friends who you sometimes can't trust. So, and that can be even your spouse. You can't trust, certain close relationships, and which can make life difficult. So, but if you can transcend that, your life, if you do go very deeply into these spiritual tests that your life has, and you overcome them, and you are mastering this. And so that would be quite amazing. I mean, I've only met a few people who are able to do that. Most people, it's just too much of a challenge, right? So
I think I've mastered it.
Okay,
I'm gonna interject here a little bit. What I'm hearing about Rosalind is that she's extraordinarily practical and clear-minded, and she actually doesn't get involved in big drama and things like that. So actually, she may be one of the few who has mastered it, Tania.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really nice.
So good for you.
Great call. Thank you, Rosalind. We appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good night.
No.
And stay tuned. Stay tuned, Rosalind. That was a fascinating illustration of how we really are the masters of our own destiny in a lot of ways.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's right. And, she asked that fascinating question, too, about the secret codes.
Tell us
most
about
people
the
don't even
secrets.
realize.
Tell us about the secrets that are encoded in numerology that have relationship to our names.
I'm intrigued about this. Yeah, tell us more about this.
Yeah, well, it's really fascinating, actually. What it is that your birth name or current name, whichever you choose for me to look at, has embedded into it a code, and several codes, not just numerologically, those are actual numbers codes, but also words. So you can create anagrams from your name that I then turn into phrases called lexicograms. And those lexicograms are unbelievably powerful in that they describe you. They describe, what you brought with you, what you're here to do. They even describe events that are coming up for you. And so it's a very in-depth process, to create these codes for me, because I have to spend a lot of time with your name. But it is really an amazing insight into your true essence of who you are.
Do you think it's more accurate than an astrological chart?
No, it complements it. It just gives another insight. They all complement each other as far as I'm concerned. So I may see certain things in the astro-numerology chart that then, if I look at the lexigram, can even give more profound insights into the person. And I can tell you one thing: for people who hire employees, I always ask them for me to do a lexigram on the employees, because they will tell me whether they will be reliable and honest right away, because I can pick out immediately, very quickly, words that will show me, red lights or green lights for them. So, because it's embedded in your name. And your birth name is the most accurate, because it's the one that, in a way, was imprinted on you when you were born. So it's the most comprehensive reading when I do that one. But current names are fascinating because they also, for example, there is a wonderful reading on President Lincoln where it uses the word president as part of the reading while he's president, right? And in that lexigram, it literally says that he will be killed.
Oh, my goodness.
That name, President Abraham Lincoln, has a lexigram. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what I mean. It's extremely, extremely powerful.
Now, when you
do how much does this... I'm sorry, go ahead, Patricia.
I was just going to ask, when you do these types of readings for people, if somebody just contacted you and said, I want you to do the secret code and my name is, can you do that as a separate reading? As a separate service?
I don't offer it. I offer it very rarely, because it takes so much time for me to really do it. And what I do is I add it on for my VIP clients, who are very specialized, high-end clients, when I need to let them know something. But I don't offer it as an actual reading, because it really does take a lot of time to do. It's time intensive is what I'm saying. And so I'd rather do the other readings, which are very, very direct, quick readings, where I'm able to just give them what they need, because most people just don't want to pay what it would cost
it sounds like it would be very, very expensive for your time.
Yeah, but aside of that, the reason why I'm so fascinated with it, Tanya, is because that actually speaks to destiny or fate as being overriding what we choose to create or not create.
It depends. Because, again, was it Lincoln's destiny to be killed? We don't know that. We don't know. I really don't feel necessarily that we can't. Because, see, your lexicograms very often will show other sides to the story as well. And then it's sort of up to you. Because, for example, let me give you a really good example. A name like Lincoln has the word N-O in Lincoln, O. So no. So you can actually put no in front of the sentence. You see what I mean? Or not. If you had a T.
So it's sort of not. Like the possibility exists, and whether we choose to take that road is what it's about.
Exactly.
Okay.
I don't ever want people to feel like something's written in stone, because I feel that is very fatalistic.
Never felt that. I've felt very little is actually written in stone, although I have heard it from people a couple of times. Some things, few things are. It does exist. It's rare. But now I understand exactly what you're saying. Okay, well, we're going to take this opportunity to take a break, Patricia, okay?
That sounds
everyone
good.
Everyone can find Tania at Tania, Tania, Gabrielle, GABRIELLE.com. And please call in at 646-478-0828 and allow Tania to tell you about your name. We'll be right back.
Sometimes life can be a challenge. Would you like insight and guidance to help you make the best choices right now? Contact Helene at angelslighthouse.com to make your personal appointment for a psychic reading or energy alignment. Helene is a direct channel to the angelic realm and is remarkably capable of connecting to the living as well as to your loved ones on the other side. Helene is available to clients all over the world via phone or Skype, and it's simple to set up a group reading anywhere. Visit angelslighthouse.com, where you'll find an easy way to schedule right online. And while you're there, sign up for the Angels Lighthouse newsletter and receive information on all the free energy circles, giveaways, and jewelry with a message. Visit angelslighthouse.com and contact Helene today.
Your property tax bill. Have you seen it lately? It's frightening. Your property taxes are going up while your home value is going down. It's time to fight back and win. For the real truth about the property tax system, get attorney Pat Quintilian's book, Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Attorney Quintilian answers all your questions and gives you the facts you need to fight a property tax bill that is spiraling out of control. You'll also read about what happens to property owners who don't check their property records, only to find out too late they're taxed on square footage, fixtures, and even buildings that they don't own. Is this happening to you? Learn your rights. Buy attorney Pat Quintilian's book today. Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Available on Amazon.com.
And we're back with our fabulous expert astro-numerologist, Tania Gabrielle. And you up for another call, Tania?
Sure.
Okay. We're going to say hello to Donna in Florida. Donna, you're live on the air, and her name is not spelled the usual way. So, hello, Donna. Donna, are you there? Okay, well, I guess we're going to go to Gail in Atlanta then. Gail, you're live on the air with Tania.
Good evening, Helen and Patricia.
Hello. Thank you.
Tania, hi.
Hi.
And you're in Atlanta, too.
I
so
sure am.
I think your weather's about the same as the last caller who was from Atlanta, right?
Yes, hot and muggy.
Yeah. So you have a question for Tania tonight?
I'm kind of curious about my name, and if she could help me out with that, I'd really appreciate it.
Okay, Gail, what is your birthday?
3/7/1961.
3/7/1961. And how do you spell Gail? Gail?
Yes.
And last name is?
Ross, Ross.
Okay. 10. Okay. You are a mind person. Your numbers are very much about the mind. You like to think, and you sometimes worry too.
I do.
You're very brilliant. You love analyzing and thinking, and and then your name Gail starts with a G, which is the 7th letter of the alphabet. That's also a mind number. I love this letter. By the way, this brings me to a whole nother part of astronumerology, which is letters, and every letter has very deep spiritual meaning. And the letter G, which I know well, being my name is Gabrielle, it literally looks like a spiral. So it represents an actual galaxy. And it is a very spiritual number, being the 7th letter of the alphabet. So you have that connection as well. You like to spiral when you think.
Wow.
So there you go, in a nutshell. No, I'm joking. That's not it. But I mean, you can get so much, and I can tell you about the letter R. R for Ross. That's a royal number. It looks like a person with a big head for royalty, and the part of the R that moves forward is the leg that moves forward. So you're taking a big idea and you're moving forward. You're in a leadership position, right? So it's a royal. It's about royalty. Okay, so. Let's see. Let's look at Gail Ross. Okay, so here we have a situation where you have a very fortunate number. No need to change it. It resonates to 14, which I personally call the media number, because 14 resonates with magnetic communication with the public. Through writing, through publishing.
I'm taking acting lessons, and I'm a background extra, and I'm trying to get a speaking role.
Well, there you go. It's a great name for media. Really is. Yeah. So, but you don't even have to be involved with any media to benefit, because it's a fortunate name number. What I do want to tell you is that there's a strong pattern of change with this name vibration. So even if you temporarily experience a setback, it's just temporary, just so you know, because this is the gambling number. So you will take risks, but the risks are very good for you. So don't worry if some of them, occasionally don't work out. So it's actually a very good number to, quote unquote, take risks and gamble. Well,
I did. I took a leave from my job, and that's what I want to do. I want to pursue a career in acting.
Right. Okay. Well, I love the number, and just don't get too inside your head. I don't have your full chart in front of me, but you do tend to think brilliantly. You're I want you to also feel into your acting, whatever role you're taking on.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying when I say that? Like, be vulnerable in the heart center as well.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Wow. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It is. Yes. And you know what? I was just on the internet, and I stumbled upon your show, and I was like, oh, okay. Wow.
There you go. Synchronicity.
Yeah, well, the internet is media.
Found us.
Yeah, well, that's media, right? Internet is media. You have a media name. So internet is fabulous for you. You should have a website with this name number. You should really promote yourself.
Okay.
it'll really, you're very tuned in on that level.
Wow. Okay. Well, I need to go and pursue that as well. Yes.
But stay tuned for the rest of the show, Gail.
I am.
Okay, great. Thank you
Really?
for listening.
Thank you, Gail.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, I've got somebody in the chat room, and they want you to do their name.
Mm-hmm.
It is Becky, Becky, Andreasen, Andreasson, and the birth date is 5/8/55.
Okay. So, Andrea, first thing is you're born on the 8th, so if you were listening earlier, I did explain a bit about, people being born on 4 or 8 days or having a full birthday number that is a 4 or an 8. So you were born on an 8 day. Very briefly, I'll just tell you that people who have prominent 8s tend to want to lead, not be the ones, not be the employee who's fulfilling some kind of mission for somebody else, but you want to actually have the vision and be the top honcho, the person who has, and also your numbers definitely show that your life is about creating prosperity and abundance. You have the 8 and the 6, and so those are big lessons for you and also focuses for you to really grow. In terms of your name, let me quickly check that. Let's see. So Becky and Andreasen, yeah, I'm just... Okay, so 36.9. All right, so here we have a situation, Becky, where your current name is actually a 4 name. So you have a current name that is a 13, in your case, 1 plus 3 is 4, and then you're born on an 8 day. That is a very karmic combination when you have a 4 or 8 name with a 4 or 8 birthday. What it means is that you tend to attract the same kinds of experiences over and over into your life. So it's almost like you're spinning the same story and you just can't get out of it. It's definitely not recommended. The 13 names, I sometimes allow people, to explore this name because some people actually enjoy it. Most people don't. 13 names cause a lot of upheaval, so that ground is broken. New ground is broken. So it's very, very powerful, but it cannot be used for self-centered reasons whatsoever. Otherwise, it'll really bring, almost destruction into your life. So there's a lot of unknown and unexpected energy with this name. The reason some people like it is it's the genius number. That's what I call it. Personally, I call it the genius number. So some people really like that association of genius, that this resonance allows them to explore areas that other people don't go to, because it breaks the orthodox. It explores new discoveries of all kinds. It's a transformative number, the number 13. For a name, most people don't want it because of the big changes that it always brings all the time, right? So for you, especially being born on the 8th of May, you especially would have this kind of quality in your life of constant change and never knowing what's coming next. So I definitely would recommend a respelling on some level for you.
Wow, that was an interesting reading.
Interesting. Oh, my
so
goodness.
So interesting. Fascinating.
Yeah, so Becky,
wow.
I hope that gives you some things to think about, and maybe you can reach out to Tania and see what the change should be, what would be in your best interest as you move forward. So thank you, Becky.
Thank you.
And thank you, Tania.
Yeah, sure.
Well, before we move on, I just want to ask one small question. You had talked about the number 11 earlier, being sort of a difficult number. And so when I hear the number 11, I think it's a master number. A lot of people associate it with spirituality and the divine and all of that sort of thing. So how do those two sort of opposing ideas sync?
Okay, So 11 is only a difficult number when it is your current name number. That's what I'm saying. So if you're born on the 11th or you love the number 11, it doesn't attract what I was talking about, especially the 29 that I was alluding to before. But so here's the deal with the 11. Every number has a shadow side and a side that leads you into love and light. Every number does. Okay, so for the number 11, the shadow side was, as I described, feeling division. So the 2 ones are 2 columns that you either walk through into the light, and you don't let yourself feel divided and indecisive and not move. So it really is about initiation. That's why it's so spiritual, because the 2 columns in ancient Egypt represented moving through the gateway and going into the next initiation. Right, so you don't know where you're going. It's the unknown, but you're moving forward, even though it's unknown. You're taking that risk, and so what it really does mean is an initiation into the realm of divinity that you're looking for. So when you see the 11, you usually have a decision to make, or it's just letting you know intuitively, because this is the highly intuitive number. Intuitively, please tune in. There's something for you to see right now. Or it's basically telling you to get balance, because this is, again, balancing the 2 ones. And maybe if you feel imbalance in your life at that moment, it's asking you to take some deep breaths and just get centered again. So you're at 1. Yeah.
Thank you for that explanation. I understand now. Yeah. Perfect. Well, let's see. We have another Becky on the line. So we'll welcome Becky from Texas. This is not the same Becky from the chat room. Welcome, Becky. You're live on the air.
Hi.
Hi, Becky. Do you have a question for Tania this evening?
I do. Tania, I was born Rebecca, Rebecca, okay? And I sign a lot of documents, Rebecca Shields, okay? Shields is my married name. But I go by Becky, but I spell Becky, Becki, okay? Now, there might be a lot of contradiction there, but what does that look like to you?
Well, actually, Becky, this is a great question, because I tell you, a lot of people have more than one name. I mean, first name, like you. Where, for example, on your checkbooks or on your credit card, it may say Rebecca, but you don't call yourself Rebecca, you call yourself Becky. So right away that tells me one thing, and that is that your energy is dissipated, because you have 2 frequencies that you're emitting to the world that's pulsating out of you. You are signing one way, you're signing your name one way, and you're seeing it that way on bills and credit cards and checkbooks. But on the other hand, you're not even using that name when you say, my name is Becky. So that means your energy is dissipated. It's like having multiple personality type thing, right? So you're a little bit divided. You're not focused in one complete direction. So I always recommend to consolidate and choose one name only and put that everywhere. That's it. So I'm glad you asked this question, because it comes up constantly with all my clients.
Okay.
Yeah. So So you want to know which ones to use, right? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Okay.
And, do you need my birthday?
I do, and I need to know how you spell your last name.
Okay. I spell my last name S as in Susan, H-I-E as in Earl, L-D-S.
Okay. And your birthday?
Okay. January 1st, 1957.
1/1/1957. Okay. Wow. Do you know what? You're born in the first month, on the first day, and your whole birthday, guess what it adds up to? Another 1.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a lot of 1 energy.
Yeah, I do. I've got a whole bunch in my birth name. I've got 1s everywhere.
Wow. Okay.
But you add them differently.
Wait a minute. Yeah. You know what? Actually, let me backtrack. I made a mistake. I put the wrong number down. Hold on. That's what happens on a long radio show. Hold on. I did just gave you some wrong information. No, it's 24/6. That's good. I'm glad because that would have been an overload of ones. Yeah, you're actually a 24/6. That's a nice balance. That's good. Okay. Let me look at your name now because that is what you're asking me. 6 and Becky is.
Long radio shows can be tough. Can't they, Patricia?
I'm sorry.
When you're doing readings, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just added wrong.
But it's exciting. I mean, I'm learning so much just by listening to Tania talk to people about their personal names. It's just a wonderful education
It is.
in the whole process.
Fun. Yeah. It's fascinating, isn't it? Yeah,
it is.
Well, Becky, here we have a lovely situation for you where you have 2 fortunate names to choose from, but you must choose, just so you know. You're dissipating right now, okay? So Becky Shields adds up to 10, and if you were on the call before, I described that number for Patricia's husband, the number 10-1, which is instant manifestation. And so you can listen back to that if you weren't on the call, but it's a very powerful number. And Rebecca Shields adds up to 45-9, which is really a wonderful number as well. And it doesn't carry that asterisk that you have to have with the 10 name where you really want to be positive, in your thoughts and actions and emotions. The 45 is all you have to really do with that kind of name is follow your own original ideas. And when you do that and you're not intimidated and influenced by others, it's such a rewarding number. So not only in your career, but also in your personal life, because what it does is it rewards your imagination, it rewards your creativity, and it really, really brings prosperity because it gives you courage and power. It blesses you with excellence. It blesses you with a lot of command and authority. And one person, just to give you a little anecdote of somebody who changed her name, who we all know, is Madonna. When she was Madonna Ciccone, she had a highly challenging name as a youngster, and of course she lost her mother very young. I think she was 5. She moved to New York penniless. She was a dancer, living on whatever which she was living on, and then she took away Ciccone and became plain Madonna. When she did that, her name added up to 27, which has the exact same meaning as 45, which is what Rebecca Shields adds up to. And so that was when Desperately Seeking Susan came out. All of you who are old enough to remember that movie with Patricia Arquette.
We're not admitting it.
Yeah, we're not admitting it.
I don't know anything about that movie.
Yeah, but that changed her life, and she is really the epitome of somebody who followed her own original ideas and goals and was not intimidated by other people, and look what happened to her. So, in terms of where she came from and where she is, where she was able to go with her gift. So incredible. That's what this number does. It really is a wonderful. So you have 2 good names, and that can sometimes be more of a challenge because now you have to choose. So,
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for the call, Becky.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay. Well, this is I'm absolutely bowled over by the amount of information that you can get from so few characters. Because really, when you think about a name and a birth date, it's not that many characters, and it's amazing what can be garnered from that, huh?
And I haven't even read the birthdays, my dear. I can do so much more than that.
Oh, my goodness. Well, this is really a valuable service that you're providing. There's a lot of value in what you're offering because, again, it brings everybody back to personal choice. And I love this because it gives you the power. It gives your clients the power to make decisions that will, again, have the total ability to transform their lives. When you talk about a wonderful illustration with Madonna, with getting rid of her last name, it got rid of a lot of things. Apparently, it allowed her to be tremendously successful and famous and on. And all she did was, she did a little more than get rid of her last name, but when she did that, she actually changed her entire path.
She created a huge opening. Yeah.
Now, what about these other master numbers? Because I know Helene asked you about 11, but there's also 22, 33.
Yes.
Those are the same kinds of things. They have both the negative and positive.
Yes, that's right. And for example, today is the 22nd, right? So it's a good time to look at this number. The way I describe 22 is laying a foundation of peace through clear communication. That's how I describe the mastery of this number. It's a very difficult number to master because it is truly about coming to a state of peace. And some numerologists I've heard call it the number that Buddha resonated to. I call it also the architect of peace, because 22 reduces to 4. 2 plus 2 is 4, and that is the manifestation number. It's the number of, if you look at the number 4, just to digress a little bit, the number 4 literally, when you draw it out on a piece of paper, it looks like a divining rod, and it literally is connected to Earth and manifesting things into physical reality. So that makes 22 extremely powerful, because you're taking whatever you're envisioning and you're building it brick by brick into a huge, wonderful, lasting foundation. So it truly is architecture, right? So you're building something, and so Buddha could be called the architect of peace, right? So so that's that number. And then 33, some people call the Christ consciousness number. It is very much connected with psychic energy. It has the double 3, which is the number of creativity, and it reduces to 6, which is the number of birth. So if you, again, draw out the number 6 on a piece of paper, it looks like a pregnant woman carrying a child. So it literally carries the responsibility and compassion of raising that child. So translated into symbolism, you are birthing something new. And so 33 is extremely powerful, because you are literally a creator. You are bringing Christ consciousness into the world. Creating something of tremendous leadership and love. 6 is also a number of love. So, these numbers are just very extremely powerful. 44, again, you have the building blocks of the 4 that I mentioned before, the discipline, the ability, the patience, the brick-by-brick building of a foundation. But then it reduces to 8, and 8 is the infinity number. So it's very much connected to power. And, it's definitely just a very strong number of just leaving a physical legacy behind of some kind. And so, they're all fascinating. I mean, you can go on and on, look at all of them, but those are the main 4, 11, 22, 33, and 44. So
incredible amount of power in those numbers, and responsibility, it sounds like, also.
Yes, exactly, good point, because the reason they're called master numbers is because you've doubled up on one number, right? So the 11 is 2 1s, the 22 is 2 2s. So the quality of those numbers is intensified tremendously, and so you have to master that number more than you would if you just had a single 1 or a single 2. That's why they're called master numbers. It doesn't mean you are a master, it means you have more to master. You have, right?
Interesting. I like that.
Wow.
Well, we have tons of callers still. Are we going to be able to get to them all?
I don't know if we'll be able to get to everyone. We'll do the best we can. But right now we'd like to welcome Steve. And Steve is calling from Ecuador, of all places. Welcome, Steve. You're live on the air with Tania.
Well, good evening, Helene, Tania, Pat. How are you all?
We're great, Steve. How are you?
I'm as fine as frogs here. Thank you.
And now you got to tell us what the weather is like in Ecuador, Steve.
It's real nice. Right now, this is the dry season right now, and I just went outside about 2 hours ago to look at the moon, but unfortunately there's a little bit of a cloud cover, but all I can see is a bright white light around the sides of the clouds there, so I'm kind of disappointed, but I'm hoping that maybe tomorrow night it might be a little bit clearer so I can be able to see it.
Yeah, that's amazing. So what is your question for Tanya this evening?
Well, my middle name is Stephen. I go by Steve, and my first name is Mark, M-A-R-K. Let me give you a little bit of a quick background here. When I was in the third grade, we moved to a different locale, and went to a new school. So the third grade teacher says to the classroom, she says, "Boys and girls, I want you to meet a new little boy in our class. And what is your name, new little boy?" And I said, instead of saying Mark, I said Steve. And
wow.
Wow. So that was so all my friends except my family called me Steve from that point on. And
oh my gosh.
I was born on 4/23/1949, and my last name is spelled S as in Sam, Orkin, like the Orkin man, O-R-K-I-N.
Okay. So S-O-R-K-I-N.
There you are.
Great.
Yep.
Okay.
So I guess you're an expat, huh, Steve?
I guess so. They call me a gringo over here.
A gringo.
Do you love it? Do you love it in Ecuador?
I do like it very, very much over here, and there's a lot to be said about this country. And I tell you, it is not for everybody, but I do like it, and I'm learning quite a bit about myself also while I'm out here.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Well, Mark, we have, I can see, do you like traveling, Mark?
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah, you do, don't you? Because you're a double 5, and 5s love to travel. You're born on the 23rd, which is a remarkable number in itself. It's called the Royal Star of the Lion by the ancient Chaldeans. Very, very wonderful number. But your full birthday adds up to 32. So that's another 5. So you have like a reverse magnetic. You have 23, 32. So if you draw those out, it's like a reverse mirroring of the same number, which adds up to 5. And so 5 people just love change. They love adventure. They love risk. They love their freedom. Freedom,
yes.
freedom. That's the key word for you. So
yes.
Yes, so I'm not surprised you're living somewhere completely different from where you probably grew up. So let's see here. Now, your name, Steve. Okay, so you go by Steve and not Stephen. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Okay, so, Steve Sorkin. Okay, what can I tell you about that? Oh, this is one of those names where I hesitate to say too much, but it is, the ancients actually called it extremely unfortunate. So, what that means is that you may have a lot of upheaval and strife and conflict in your life, basically obstacles, some disappointment, failure. So I don't know if you use a middle initial that is somehow tempering this energy. It could be, but let me know if that's the case. Would I go to Mark? I would not go to Mark because Mark has the difficult 11 name. It's not quite as difficult as Steve is, but it still wouldn't be recommended for you. So, again, you have a wonderful day of birth and a wonderful life purpose number that, could partly be helping you, but you may also be running away from issues. With the whole combination, to me, feels a little bit like you might be avoiding some things in your life. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
It makes sense, Tanya. I'm just as I'm listening to you, I'm trying to figure out whether I can use a middle initial for my name Steve, like Steve M, for example. I'm not sure yet. I'll have to talk with you a little bit later on about that.
Yeah, that's something I would do in your reading for the Is My Name Fortunate report, is give you alternatives. And you can even ask me in the email, can you please look at these names for me, and I will. So it doesn't just have to be one name that you send in. It can be several.
Right.
But that's what I see right now for you with this kind of setup.
Well, that's quite interesting. Quite interesting. So, I've had quite a few challenges here in my life, and I seem to do okay with these things here. But I absolutely agree with what you're saying. Absolutely.
Well,
thank
you
you,
so.
Thank you, Steve. I hope you connect
Steve.
with Tanya for a deeper reading. Yeah.
I will do that. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, so sometimes with a name like what Steve has, if it's possible, I know you'd have to look at this in some depth, but like Madonna, dropping that last name, just going by one name may make all the difference in the world, yes?
Yes, and for him it would absolutely do that because, believe it or not, his first name is a 23, which is that remarkable Royal Star of the Lion number. It's just most people wouldn't want to be Cher or Madonna or, it would be very difficult. You have to legalize that, you know. So that, because you want to sign your name that way on checks, you want to have it on credit cards. It just makes it more difficult when you don't have a last name, you know. So
yes.
Well, that was a good example of a reading that's kind of hard to do on the air.
It's very hard. Yes.
It's a very short reading. We only have a brief time with each person, and when you have to give news that's got to be sort of palatable and as positive as possible, and it takes a little more time to dig deeper, I think.
Absolutely, I agree with you, Helene, and I didn't want to shortchange him, though, either, so I wanted to make sure he got the answer to his question.
Right.
Otherwise, he's leaving with an illusion about something that is not the case, so it's a balance, too, but but he does have a way to contact me, and I can help him. So if I couldn't help him, I wouldn't be telling him something. You see what I mean? So it's not like I'm leaving him in the dust. So,
oh no,
right?
Yeah,
that's right. He will have choices, and he will have a whole new direction that he can choose.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, well, let's go to Maddie in Atlanta, and we have another Atlanta person, which is lovely. Hello, Maddie. You're live on the air.
Hello. How are you?
Hi, Maddie.
Hi. How are you guys? Good?
We're good, but we heard the weather report in Atlanta a couple times already.
Oh. It's pretty warm here today. Pretty warm and sunny.
Yeah.
It's like time. It's beautiful.
Yeah, great. What's your question for Tanya this evening?
Well, I know that she's doing names, numerology, and I want to give her my full name at birth.
Okay.
It's Maddie Louise Taylor.
Okay, can you spell those, please?
MATTIELOUISETAYLOR.
Okay.
And after I got a divorce, I go by Queen really, but after I got a divorce, I added my spiritual name, which I thought was the name given to me at birth is my spiritual name. I added that back, but I kept the name Queen.
Okay, but do you want me to do a reading on your birth name or your current name? Because there's very different ways of doing the reading otherwise.
When I sign something, important documents, I sign the whole name, Maddie Louise Taylor Queen.
Okay, so the reading, though, do you want it to be for...
Well, my spiritual name that was given to me at birth, Maddie Louise Taylor.
Okay. And what's your birthday, Maddie?
1745.
17/1945. Okay.
So I'll tell you a funny story while Tanya's figuring this out. The password on my computer is like Queen Mother, right? And my children don't like that very much. They keep telling me I'm not the queen, and I say, I am. You guys are all men. I'm the queen. And that's it. I love that word, queen. I love that word, queen. I just do.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Well, it's probably saying something about you, too, right?
Great power of Queen Helene. It even goes to your first name.
Right.
That's true. It rhymes.
It does.
Yeah. There used to be an old cosmetic product, and I'm dating myself now, but the name of it was Queen Helene, and I always got a kick out of that as a kid.
I have to admit, I've heard of it.
Oh
my mother told me.
We are digressing. This is hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Maddie, so your what you call your spiritual name, which I love, your birth name, is the number 78, and this is quite a spiritual number, actually. 7 plus 8 is 15, and 15 is called the spiritual alchemist by the ancient Chaldeans. That basically means you have the ability to uplift people. And by the way, I'm describing now what's called the destiny number, which is your birth name number, okay?
Okay.
So this number 15, which 7 plus 8 reduces to, is very, very fortunate because it brings enchantment to others. So you really can express yourself musically or through drama or art or speaking. You have great charisma. You're very magnetic. And, it really appeals to people's altruism towards you. So people want to help you. But also the main gift with this number is that you bring happiness to others. So you shine light in the darkness, right? So
I've been told that, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it really is a deeply spiritual number, and it's also can bring a lot of abundance as well. If you are expressing your gifts congruent to who you are, it brings tremendous abundance. So, So it is a beautiful number. It's very loving. You obviously love also. You're about love. You're about unconditional love. You most likely have children or like mothering others with this number because it's the 15 reduces to 6, which looks like that pregnant woman I mentioned earlier. People who have 6s like giving advice. They like helping others, and they love being like parental figures or moms, right? Dads, moms. So you like counseling and helping others. And being born in the 7th, too, of course, you are deeply spiritual. That's in a nutshell what this number represents is spiritual alchemy and the spiritual magician.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's good to know. 78, okay. And yes, I do get a lot of people cry on my shoulder. I am a good listener.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And you're able to analyze though too. It's not just that you relate to them through your heart center, but being born on the 7th allows you to pierce through whatever it is their issue is and pinpoint what the core is. So the 7 looks like a lightning strike. So people who have 7s can just receive that incredible intuitive hit about what the core issue is. So it's the ability to analyze and go straight to the core of whatever they need to look at. You are able to do that as well.
Oh, wow. It's amazing that you said that because I've been thinking, how could I start doing that more? I've been thinking about what school can I go? Can I read more books? Can I do this or that to help others? And that's exactly what's been on my mind. You
need to read. All 7s need to have books in almost everywhere. They are They are bookworms. Yeah.
I do have books everywhere. Magazines. Yeah. I do like to read. Yes.
Yes. So keep reading those books because that's where you attain your insights. Through reading the books, you love attaining knowledge. This is the number of wisdom.
That's so true.
Right? Yes.
That's so true. Yeah. That's what I've been doing tonight. I didn't want to go into place. I went to the gym. I came back. I said, this is it. I've been setting up front, listening to videos, obtaining knowledge.
Yep.
That's
writing
awesome.
my notes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for tuning in, Maddie, and thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
you,
Maddie.
That was very enlightening. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Can I listen?
That was a beautiful reading.
Yes. And that's amazing about 7s and how they need to be surrounded by books. That's incredible.
Yep. And they usually are. You ask them, they love to read.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that's exactly what she said. She just loved it. So, perfect.
It's amazing. Should we take another caller now, Tanya?
Sure.
Okay. We're going to talk to Renee in Colorado. Renee, you're live on the air with Tanya.
Hello, ladies.
Hello.
First of all, Hi. I love this show so much. Thank you for doing this every week. It's amazing. And anyway, I'm learning so much. So you guys are a blessing. Or you ladies are a blessing.
Thank you.
Wonderful compliment.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I wanted to see about my name. I was doing it while I'm listening, and it my first name came out to be 29 or 2. The last name came out to be a 5, and so it totals to a 7. And my birth date equaled a 5.
So you know what? I would like to have the name and numbers myself, so I can do the reading myself.
Okay.
So if you could just give me your name and birthday, that would be great.
Well, thank you. Okay. It's Renee, and the last name is Hill, Hill.
And how do you spell Renee?
Renee.
Okay. And your birthday?
4/30/60.
Okay.
And while Tanya's working on that, Renee, I think that, I don't know what kind of numerology you're reading, but the reason why Tanya wants to do it herself is because she uses an ancient form of numerology that sometimes comes out a little differently than what we think of as numerology today.
Yeah, that's interesting. So where can we get material on that? Because I don't find that anywhere.
Yeah, well, I teach it, actually. I have a course called Numerology Academy on my website, and I teach people how to do what I do. It's not something that you can just say, well, go here and learn it, because I've gathered my information from many, many sources, and also from my own inspired, just research where I go within and discover connections that were never written about. So I teach what I do.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's
definitely
see here.
Check that out.
Yes. So Renee, the way you calculated was not just like Helene was saying, was a different way. So what I'm getting for your name is Renee is a 22, and Hill is a 12, which is a 3. So the whole number is 25. It's not 7. And 25 reduces to 7. That's true. But 25 is the first number that I would look at for you, for your current name. So with the 25 name, this is an interesting name number because it really means you can learn from past mistakes, and you have that rare quality of really understanding when you make a mistake, which is sort of what I call a mistake, that you know how to change and do a course correction, right? You really are able to do that. And so the ability for you to observe yourself and observe others and even situations with great care gives you great spiritual wisdom with this name number. So, and the other thing this name gives you is overcoming disappointments from earlier in your life, right? So you have the strength that allows you to do that. So your judgment is really great with this name number. The only challenge with this number is that it's harder to attract prosperity, and I'm talking about financial prosperity. So that will come from other numbers in other parts of your blueprint. So I would have to look at your whole blueprint to see if you have those prosperity numbers there that can support you. So that's the only thing about this name that is a negative. Otherwise, it's the other thing, just so you know, it does cause a bit of isolation from people. I don't know if you feel that, this 7 name. 7 is the most private of numbers, so when you have it as a current name, you can isolate yourself a little bit from others, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, all of this is right on, so thank you.
All right. You're welcome.
And
thank you so much for the call, Renee.
Yeah, thanks, Renee.
Okay, have a great night. Bye-bye.
You too. That's fascinating. Fascinating reading.
Let me ask you, Tanya, when you do readings for business names, is it the same system that you use, the ancient Chaldean system?
I do. I just read it slightly differently because with a business name, there are certain parameters you're looking for. You have certain goals. And so a 25 name for this last lady would have really worked for her if that's what she's looking for, right? But for a business name, I would never use it because it doesn't attract wealth, right? So I would say, no, don't use it. So I have slightly different parameters when I
right.
When
so you're looking for the achievement of goals like prosperity, because obviously that's why people are doing business. So
yes, exactly.
That becomes a major issue. That's that is so interesting. Okay.
Well, we're going to take one more call this evening, and we're going to welcome Sherry from Tennessee live on the air. Hello, Sherry. You're live.
Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Do you need my married name or my maiden name? I go by my married name right now, but I'm going through a divorce.
Oh, so are you going to? Well, what do you want the reading on? Just let me know which you prefer.
I guess we can do it on McDevitt. That's my married name. The first name is Sherry, Sherry.
Is
the
it
middle
double
name
R?
is yes.
RRY. Okay. Mhm.
The middle name is Denise, Denise. And the last name is MC, capital DEVITT.
MC, capital. Say that again.
D as in David.
Mhm.
D as in David.
Mhm.
E as in Edward. V as in Victor. I, and 2 T's.
So McDevitt, is that correct?
Mhm.
Okay. And do you go by Sherry McDevitt or Sherry Denise McDevitt?
It's Sherry McDevitt.
Okay, so I won't do the Denise then. Okay, good. And what's your birthday, Sherry?
It is today, 6/22/67.
Oh, happy birthday.
Okay, so while
myself.
yeah, that's wonderful. What a good idea. And while Tanya's figuring out your name, we can ask you what the weather's like in Tennessee.
It was warm today. It was about 85.
Yeah.
That's not too
bad. A lot
bad.
of humidity in
dry,
Tennessee. Mhm.
You guys get a lot of humidity, though, down there, right?
We do. I'm on the eastern side. I'm in Knoxville, and so we're very close to the Smokies, and the Smoky Mountains are considered a temperate rainforest. So, yeah, there is a lot of humidity.
Yeah.
So may I quickly? Oh, I got it. Sorry, I answered my own question. Okay, good. So here we go. So Sherry, you're born on the 22nd. We had this once before, another caller. You're born the 22nd, and your name is a 22. So your 22 name is being reinforced and magnetized by your 22 day of birth. Okay. So now, in some names, that's a good thing. In other names, it's not. In your case, it is actually causing challenges because 22 is, again, it's a master number. It requires tremendous inner strength. But in a current name, you may be blind to the negative acts of other people. Okay? So illusion is a really big issue. So there may be placing faith in other people who are not trustworthy, like mistakes in judgment. And so the whole thing about this name number, this 22 number, is that you learn how to differentiate between truth and illusion. So it's a very difficult task, right? You're constantly needing to do that. And it really, it's a great responsibility, especially spiritually, to practice this and master it all the time. Now, some people are able to do it, but for you, the challenge is even greater because you're born on a 22 day, which is a 4. It's one of those 4/8 days that I mentioned earlier to Patricia. So when you also have a name that's a 4 and 8, it makes it even more challenging. See what I'm saying? So I don't know if you're resonating with what I'm saying. You happen to have 2 master numbers, too. You have a 33/6, which is incredibly powerful as your full birthday number, and that is balancing out somewhat this energy I'm talking about. Actually, is the best number you could have to help balance this energy, but even so, I would recommend a change. And I don't know, you say this is your married name, so I don't know if this has happened since you got married, because that's usually what happens. You make a switch like this, and if it's a really challenging number like this is, you would have really started to feel a difference. Does that make sense?
It does. It does somewhat. That's why I'm considering going back to the maiden name as soon as the divorce is over.
Yeah. So I would recommend. Yeah,
I was just saying that it's fascinating how when women get married and change their name, or sometimes men get married and change their name, how what a turn our lives can take, really, because of this frequency.
And because these master numbers, I mean, it sounds like, because we've all been taught, I think, to some degree, that these master numbers are really terrific. You know, they're really great. But here's an example for Sherry where these master numbers are more of a burden, it sounds like, in some ways.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, her birthday itself is not a burden. It's just that her name is challenging, and it happens to be the same number, 22-4, where the very difficult 4-4 connection I was talking about. It's very unique in numerology. So she triggers that. So that means she keeps attracting the same kind of events with this name. Same kind of people, same kind of events. It's like, running a treadmill and never getting off it. You just can't figure out, why is this happening again to me? Why, you know what I mean? So by taking on this married name, that kind of pattern started in her life. Without this name, let's say she had a fortunate name, her birthday would be fine. I mean, she has a lot of energy here with two master numbers. She has a 22 and a 33. But even so, that's not a negative. It's just that she has very much energy to channel here and to really understand that her inner strength comes from being honest at all times, because people look to her for strength. People look to her for advice. People are looking to her for leadership. When you have master numbers like this, she has a torch that she's carrying, So, yeah.
Interesting.
That makes sense to you, Sherry?
It does, yeah. I've been very active politically, and so I get the phone calls from everybody saying, "What should I do next?"
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for the call this evening, Sherry. We appreciate you listening. Thank you.
Can we take one more, Helene? It looks like we have somebody calling in again from California, and gosh, there's so many people.
I know. Tania, you want to go one more time?
I can. That's fine.
Okay. Well, we'll welcome Anna live on the air. And
Hi.
Anna, you're in California, so we need a short weather report.
Oh, well, it's beautiful and warm today, but we're expecting rain on Monday, which is unbelievable for this time of year. It's a gorgeous day today.
What part of California do you live in?
I live in Brentwood, which is Northern California, not the Southern California one.
I see.
Right near San Francisco.
Yeah, you're our last caller for the evening for sure. So what is your question for Tania?
Well, I've been going by my married name. I'm a widow now, but I often wondered if I should have kept my maiden name as well in my name. So I just don't know if this is a good name that I have right now. It's a very common name because my husband was Irish and his last name is Kelly. But my maiden name was Anna Bozina is what I was. So I didn't know whether, should I continue this since I'm a widow, or what's the best name to keep?
Okay, so which name do you want me to look at? The Anna Kelly one?
Yes.
Okay. And Anna's two N's?
2 N's, and I always use Anna M for my middle name, which is Maria Kelly, when I'm signing. Kelly.
That makes a big difference right away. First of all, take out the M. We don't have a lot of time to take out the M, because Anna Kelly is wonderful, but not with the M. With the M, it turns into a much more difficult. Let's see here. So, what's your other name? Just real quick.
Anna Bozina, Bozina, was my maiden name.
Bozina. Okay, let me check that. That's interesting. Okay. So Anna.
I thought of putting them both together, but Anna Bozina Kelly, but I don't know if that's good or not.
Yeah. Let me check that, because that may be the best for you. No. You know what?
No.
I need to actually do a report for you because it's a little complicated. I also didn't take your birthday, but yeah, I can explain it in the report. But you have a complicated situation, so which I can't solve right now. So,
okay.
Yeah. So
should I contact you or what?
Yeah, just go to my website, TaniaGabrielle.com, and just look under products for the Fortunate Name Report, and I will just do that for you. You know, just send me all your names, and we can resolve it in that report. So
okay, so
yeah.
I will do that.
Great.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you for the call.
Thanks, Anna.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. What a wonderful night this has been.
I've just learned so much just by listening to you, Tania, talk to everybody about their name. It's been fascinating.
Well, thank you. I've had a great time with both of you. I love your energy. You're wonderful. So it's been a joy.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I hope you come back because I know that once the word gets out that you were on our show, people are going to want us to have you back again. So we know you're in great demand, as well you should be, with the talent that you have and the wonderful gifts that you're offering to all these potential clients. And everybody should go to Tania's website, Tania Gabrielle, GABRIELLE.com, and get the report done, have a reading done, get more information so you can take control of your lives.
Thank you. And if I come back on your show, which I'd love to do, I also love talking about the cycles we're in. You know, all of us as human beings. What 2013 is all about, what's coming up in the astrology, numerology, and get into that as well to help people. With the energy that's lining up right now. So
we would love that.
We'd love it, and maybe next time we can put astrology at the forefront.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But thank you for having me. I've had the best time. You're wonderful, and it's just been a joy. So.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence and all of this wonderful wisdom. It's just been terrific.
Well, I appreciate it. I feel like we're all in the same, energy here. So it's just we're feeding each other, and it's helpful to all of us. I love meeting new people like you, and of course I love Helene. I know you.
Oh, thank you, Tania.
So great to meet you, Patricia. So.
Well, thank you. Same here, Tania, and we will look forward to having you back for sure.
Good. Well, enjoy the supermoon and have a great weekend.
Thank you.
You too, Tania.
All right.
Good night, Tania.
Good night.
Good night.
And I just want to share with everybody, my goodness, isn't she great? My God. I mean,
remarkable person.
Everybody really, I think,
so
the investment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and putting the investment into a reading, a full chart, it's so worth it. It's so worth it to have the information to take control of your lives. Like she said, it puts the reins back in your hands. I mean, it's great.
It does, but I think that what's most interesting is that she can really bring the idea of wealth and prosperity right into the forefront for everybody.
Well, you know what? We need that with ease, because it's so helpful to know if you're struggling, if you're deferring your prosperity. It's helpful to know that some of it may be attached to how you introduce yourself, how you sign your checks. I mean, it's all tremendous information. And I also want to take a moment just to say to everybody, for next week, we are having, all of our guests are great and very important, but next week we're having Dr. Garth Nicholson on the show. If you know anybody who has questions about vaccines, autoimmune disease, this is a show for you guys. It is going to be a blockbuster show. We're going to have all kinds of information from Dr. Nicholson, who was the first to identify the bioweaponization of mycoplasma and how it's affecting everybody's health on the entire planet. So it's a show not to be missed, and please spread the word to anybody who's suffering with an autoimmune disease or anybody who has questions about vaccinations. Dr. Nicholson is a microbiologist, and he's going to be with us and answering all of our questions.
It's going to be a fascinating show, and one that I'll have nightmares about, I'm sure, but, Patricia.
Well, no, it's hopefully no nightmares, but he's going to give us the information we need.
Well, we need to arm ourselves with this information, and I think a lot of people like me kind of don't want to really look at it. But if we really look at it, then we're really empowering ourselves and being able to make better choices for our bodies.
That's right, and that's what he's going to be doing, is giving us the information that we really need to have. So I'm very excited about interviewing Dr. Nicholson next week, and I hope you'll all join us, and tell your friends to join us. It is a health show you should not miss.
Well, Patricia, I think it's time to say goodnight.
Yes, it is, and just one more announcement. You have an event coming up, so everybody go to angelslighthouse.com and read up on Helene's event. If you're in the area, you'll be able to meet Helene in person at the event. And Hyannis, is that correct, Hyannis?
Yes, I'll be on beautiful Cape Cod on Sunday, June 30th, and I hope people who are in the area come out and say hello right in downtown there, and it'll be great. It's going to be a great day.
Great. And we've got new products that are being introduced there. You have your beautiful crystal bracelets. We also have a new product coming out called Divine Right, and all of it's going to be launched right then and there at your event. So
yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Stop by if you're in the area. Yes, if you happen to be on the Cape, that's the place to be. Yes. So angelslighthouse.com has all the information. So make sure you go there, sign up for Helene's newsletter, and sign up for Supernatural Girls newsletter to be entered into our contests for giveaways.
Jeepers, we had such a packed show with so many callers tonight. We forgot to get to the nitty-gritty right at the beginning.
I know.
Patricia.
I know all the other stuff that we do that's so exciting. But anyway, oh, my goodness. I'm just going to be thinking about numbers all night, but it's been wonderful.
It has. Good night, everyone. Thank you for tuning in.
Good night, everybody. Good night, Helene.
Good night, Patricia.
Thanks for listening. Tune in next week for another radio adventure with